I could literally see the comments right now. You, Ashley Mitchell, are an outfit repeater. What's going on, Slay Bays? It's your girl Ashley and welcome back to my channel. Now, before you say anything, I know what you're thinking. I look hella crusted and busted, but you know what? I'm trying this new thing where I just don't give a fuck. So this is what you get. In today's video, I will be doing my June favorites. It's gonna be more of a full face of favorites. Just because I don't do these videos often, I do have a lot of favorites to get through in today's video. Now, some products you guys may or may not have seen. I've used them behind the scenes off camera, and some products are gonna be definite repeats that I use in every single one of my videos. So I hope you guys like this video. If you wanna see more favorites videos or just more themed videos where I talk about my favorite powders, concealers, lipsticks, all of that, let me know by giving this video a like. Also, subscribe to my channel if you guys haven't already. Click that bell so that way YouTube will notify you anytime I upload, which has been so sporadic recently. I do apologize, but nonetheless, you guys still are getting 2 videos a week. So without further ado, let's go ahead and hop right into the video. So first things first, let's go ahead and do a little bit of skin prep. Now, I will first start off with this. This is the Laneige Lip Sleeping Mask. Now, I know I'm well aware that you're supposed to use this at night, but recently I've been really loving to put this on right before I do my makeup because it heavily moisturizes my lips like no other, and I really love the way it feels. So I'm gonna just lather this all over. The next skin product I will be using is this one. This is actually a sunscreen, and I've been really promoting sunscreen very heavily on my channel as of recently, simply because I did go see an esthetician, if you will, and she took a look at my skin. We did a chemical peel, and she's like, look, you need to wear sunscreen. I don't care if you're walking the dogs, taking the trash out, if you're just checking the mail, make sure you have some kind of UVA and UVB protection on your face. So this is what they told me to use, and I honestly have been loving it. It does have that sunscreen smell, which I know a lot of people aren't the biggest fans of, but honestly, I don't mind. If my skin's gonna be protected, I'm all about it. So I do take about a pump. This is a tinted sunscreen. So what's good about it is that on those days where I don't wanna wear makeup, I can literally just put this all over and be good to go. Granted, my imperfections will still kind of peek through, but when I'm not wearing makeup, I don't wanna wear a ton of product on my face anyway. So this really just gets the job done for me. Let's actually move on to my face primer. Now, I will be using the Ole Henriksen Banana Bright Face Primer. I did pick this up during a Sephora sale, and I actually really like it. As you can see, I am getting very, very good use out of this primer. This has a vitamin C and banana-powered inspired pigments. No idea about the banana-powered inspired pigments, but I do know about the vitamin C, and I also know that this primer gives my skin a very, very nice illuminating property. So if you don't really want to illuminate the center of your face, I would definitely stray away from putting this primer there because it definitely gives the skin more of a luminous glow. As you can see, honey, I am about it. Love that. I just feel like this feels really, really good on my skin, and I don't know what it is, but recently I've been really into using primers from skincare brands as opposed to just using primers from makeup brands because I just feel like they're overall better for the skin, but it could just be my mind telling me that and not actually true. Let me know how you guys feel about that theory down below in the comments. So let's actually jump into the brows. Now, I will go over the brow products very, very quickly simply because I feel like everybody has their own preference as it relates to their brow products, and for me personally, this is just how I've been loving to do my brows as of recently. So I do really like the ColourPop Brow Boss brow pencil in the shade dark brown. As you can see, I do get very, very good use out of it. I did lose this cap, so excuse that. I've also been loving to use that pencil in conjunction with these by MAC. Now, these are the Shape and Shade Brow Tint. I do have 2 different shades. I have Spiked and I also have Taupe. Now, before, I just used to use Spiked, but I feel like Spiked is a little bit too dark sometimes. So I do like to go in with the Taupe color, which I know is very strange because I do have very dark brown hair. You would think I want to use something darker, but for this product specifically, I do like to use this to create very fine kind of hair-like strokes in my brows to go for more of a boy brow look. So I'm actually going to show you guys how I do it because I feel like it's so much easier to actually show you than actually talk through. So I will go in with the brow pencil first, and what I like to do is I like to just take a little bit of this brow pencil and I like to underline my brow in this area right here, and I do press rather hard in this area just because I do want the very bottom of my brow to be a little bit more defined than the actual top. Now that I look all sorts of crazy, I will go in with the Shape and Shade Brow Tint in the shade Taupe, and I'll start start creating very fine hair-like strokes by just taking the pencil and flicking it upwards, like so. And I don't know what it is, I've just been really loving to do my brows like this. It's just been a vibe recently. And I honestly feel like the slower you go with this step, the better it looks. So I just like to really take my time and draw these little hair-like strokes, especially towards this area right here. I do like to go in with another shade. This one is slightly darker. It's called Spiked. And I'll literally just draw like a couple of fine hair-like strokes with this one just to create a little bit of dimension. Once I have the general shape down, I like to go in with a little bit of concealer. This is the NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer. You guys know I love this. And I will just take this right here alongside the tail. I don't take too much of it directly underneath the brow because I'm not really trying to have like carved out brows. So I'll just take some of this, pop it right here on the brow bone, and then just use it to simply shape this area. Let's actually move on to primer. Now you guys know I was obsessed, or I have been obsessed with the MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot, but I've been high-key obsessed with this one since it came out. This is the brand new primer by Anastasia. What I love about it is that it is more of a fluid primer. And when I say that, when you squeeze some of it out like this, as you can see, it does look very, very liquidy, but it gives your eyelids the perfect amount of opacity to the point where it is gonna cover up any discoloration or veinage or anything like that. And that's what I love most about it. Typically when I would go in with like a fluid eyeshadow base, I feel like they are way too sheer, but this one again gives you the perfect amount of coverage. I also like that you can actually cut your crease with this eyeshadow primer because it is fluid enough to use it like you would a concealer. Once I have the majority of that eyeshadow primer on to the lid, I will just take a sponge with a little bit of Fix Plus on it, and then I'll really start to pat it onto my eyelids just to make sure it's evenly distributed all over the lid. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. My eyeshadow space looks crazy, especially with that eyeshadow primer, but I like to go in with a little bit of my MAC Studio Fix powder on a fluffy brush, and I'll just simply take this powder and tap it all over that primer just to give it more of a skin-like finish, because I feel like the primer can lean a little bit too white for me personally, so I do like to just set it down with a little bit of the Studio Fix powder. Now that I have that powder all over the eyeshadow base to kind of neutralize the color, I am going to go in with the eyeshadow. Now this is a palette I have been high-key obsessed with, and it's a palette I've been reaching for a lot. This is the Alter Ego Temptress palette. This is a spot-on dupe for the ABH Sultry eyeshadow palette. Now let me just say what I love most about this palette is that it's not your typical warm tone eyeshadow palette. As you can see, it definitely is more of a cool tone palette, but it's not like gray. Granted, some colors pull gray like this one right here. You can create such a beautiful neutral look with this palette without having to use like oranges or reds or things like that. Sometimes I feel like people, especially myself, I get so caught up on using warm tone eyeshadows that I forget what it's like to use a palette like this, and then when I put something like this on my eyes, I'm just blown away by how breathtaking the eyeshadows actually look. So the first shade I'm going to pick up is called Lust. It definitely is more of a warm tone brown, but it's not orange, and that's what I love most about the color. I'm going to take it on an M441, and I'm just going to rock it back and forth in my crease to act as my transition color. The next shade I'm going to go in with is this dark brown. It is called After Hours. Now what I love most about this dark brown is that it is more of a very rich chocolate brown. It doesn't lean too purple. It also doesn't lean too red. It literally is the perfect brown, and I'm taking this on an M507, and I'm really just placing it right here in the very outer V area to really just smoke out this look because that's the vibe I'm going for. Then I'm going in with a brush to just buff and blend out the edges. Look at that. Cute, girl, cute. Do you guys see what I mean about that brown? Like, it is the perfect, rich brown that's like borderline black but not. Like, I freaking love it. Like, I love it so much. I'm now gonna go in with the shade called Lace from within the palette. Now this shade right here is a beautiful bone colored shadow, and what I'm gonna do with that is I'm just gonna take a regular brush. This is something that I got, I want to say in a BoxyCharm or something like that, and I'm just gonna use this as my brow bone highlight. Now I love that this shade doesn't have any shimmer in it. It's really just going to bring the shadow down a little bit and just highlight the brow bone the slightest bit. I also also will take the shade right here directly underneath the brow, just in case I took that transition shade a little bit too far in. Even though the outer V is like hella smoky, I am gonna go in with a shade called Stiletto from the palette on that same M507, which is definitely more of a stark black. Now what I'm gonna do with the shade is I'm just placing it right here towards the very base of the lash line to really intensify this area. I'm not gonna take it too high though. I'm really just going to kind of pinch it right here in this area. Now as you can see, this is adding, hella drama to the look, and I'm about it. Now for my actual lid color, I'm definitely gonna jump out of the palette, but the first shade I wanna lay down first is called Seduction, which is more of a very light champagne. I am gonna spritz the brush with a little bit of the ABH Dewy Set, which I have been liking as well. Not a game changer of a product, but it definitely is a really nice product. I'm just taking the shade and I'm just pressing it on to my eyelid. And I'm not going in too heavy-handed with this. I really just wanna lay down a light layer of shadow before I go in with this next product. Okay, now that I have a very thin, nice layer of that shadow all over my lid, I'm gonna go in with a little bit of the ABH glitter adhesive. Now let me just say, when this came into my life, it literally like turned my whole world upside down. So I'm gonna take this. What I like most about it is that it is in the form of like a nail polish. Like that's super cool. So I'm really just going to take a little bit of this and just kind of brush it onto the area where I place that shimmer shade. Then the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in with a little bit of the Artist Couture. This is the Diamond Lights Finisher. Oh my gosh. This one is in the shade Spotlight Glitz. It is so incredibly beautiful. I am gonna take it on that same flat brush that I used to put on my lid color. This is a Morphe M124. I'm gonna pick up a little bit of that finisher and I'm just gonna tap it onto the lid. Now the reason I laid down that glitter adhesive first is because since this is a glitter, I do essentially want it to stay exactly where I place it. This is gonna make it a little bit more intense. As you can see, it definitely looks more like a glitter. If you want more of like a light shimmer, definitely just spritz your brush with a little bit of Fix Plus, but I kind of like this vibe. And then from that moment, I'm just gonna go in with a black crayon eyeliner to just tight line a little bit. I feel like I haven't tight lined in so long. I am using one of the ColourPop cream gel eyeliners. You guys, this eyeliner is so good. They come in so many different shades. I really love like the colorful shades, but I'm just using the black today to kind of connect this line with the smoked out line I created earlier. Now that I pretty much have like the outline of how I want my eyeshadow to look, I am going to take a makeup wipe. These are just the Collab makeup wipes by Sally Beauty to really just clean up underneath my eyes. Honestly, the only reason I even own makeup wipes is for this step right here, just to clean up little mistakes. I stopped using makeup wipes to take off my makeup so long ago. Let me know, do you guys still take off like your entire face makeup with makeup wipes, or do you use some kind of cleansing oil? I'd love to know down below in the comments. Let's pop on mascara. I'm just gonna use this one by Lancome. This is the Monsieur Big Mascara. Now this definitely isn't my favorite. I'm just trying to get better at using up all of my mascaras before I open any new ones. I literally just tossed maybe about 15 to 20 plus mascaras from my drawer because I literally had so many open, and I'm like, look, this can't be sanitary, so I threw a bunch of them away and I'm just using up a lot of the ones I have right now. Let's actually talk about lashes. Now I do have 3 favorite pairs of lashes. 2 of them are by Kiss. The first one is this style right here. This is the Lash Couture Faux Mink collection in the style Gala. I love these. These are so incredibly beautiful. Another pair is from Kiss. This is the Triple Push-Up Lash in the style Garters. These are so pretty. I love how full they are towards the center. And then my third favorite lash this month would definitely have to be by Salon Perfect. They are in the style 662 and they are from their Extension Seekers line. They are so incredibly beautiful and I've probably worn those in a handful of videos this month, or last month I should say. So definitely check out those styles. Today I will just be using these right here. These are in the style Gala. Now I don't know about you guys, but it takes me a hot minute to pop on lashes. So I'm gonna pop these bad boys on and then I will be right back and we'll start working on the rest of the face. Love this look. Literally my go-to like sparkly glam makeup look. Let's actually talk about foundation now. This foundation probably comes to no surprise to you guys because I've literally been using it in every single video and also every single one of my IGTV videos on Instagram, which reminds me, follow me over on the gram if you guys aren't already. I've been uploading exclusive little mini Instagram videos over there if you guys want to check those out and see them. But anyways, this is the foundation I'm talking about, the Too Faced Born This Way foundation. Holy Grail. I've been mixing two different shades together, warm, nude, and also vanilla. Right now I feel like I'm more so vanilla because I'm hella pasty at the moment, so I'm not gonna mix in as much warm nude, but on those days where I'm tan, I kind of mix them both together and create a custom cocktail, if you will. So I'm gonna take a little bit of this foundation on the back of my hand, and I say a little bit, but that's a whole lot. I'm also gonna mix in a little bit of this product from Drunk Elephant. Now I have been loving this product. It's definitely gonna kind of warm up my foundation a little bit more and give it more of a bronzy finish. So I'm just gonna mix in about that much. Trust me when I tell you, you do not need a lot of this mixture because a little bit goes a very, very long way. I'm gonna take this Koki brush. You guys know how much I was loving this brush. I like to use it, especially when I use this mixture right here. And I will just start in the center of my face and then I'll just start working it outwards. Now, I definitely wanted to bring up using a brush over a sponge. I want to say I used a brush in one of my last videos and somebody was like, I can't use a brush anymore after using a sponge. I can't. So I want to know, like, what do you guys like to use more? Do you guys like to use a big, like, fluffy foundation brush like I'm using right now? Or do you guys like more of a sponge? I'm not going to lie, I'm definitely more of a sponge girl. But when I want more of like a natural skin finish, I will go in with a big brush like this to put on foundation because I feel like it gives me more of a skin-like finish. Let's go ahead and move on to concealer. Now, I will definitely say this is still a holy grail concealer for me. This is my Pixie by Petra color corrector in the shade Brightening Peach. So I am going to take a little bit of this. Normally, I will go in with this concealer before foundation, but I'm not going to lie, I kind of forgot today. And I'm only going to color correct underneath my eyes since I did forget to do it before foundation. Let's move on to actual concealer. I have been loving this concealer right here by IT Cosmetics. This is the Bye Bye Under Eye Full Coverage Anti-Aging Waterproof Concealer, and I am using the shade Light Honey 13.5. Now, this is a rather thick concealer, and I will definitely say it will crease on you underneath the eyes if you do not set it properly. So I like to take about that much, and I will start to really buff it into the skin with my finger because I personally feel like the warmth of my fingertips really helps blend this product in a lot better. So I will start off with my finger like so, and once I have it worked up and melted onto the skin, I will take my sponge. This one is by Juno & Co, and I'll just kind of pat it underneath the eye, giving me more of a flawless finish. I don't know, I just love how creamy it is, and I just love how natural it looks underneath the eyes. It doesn't look too dry. It definitely is more of like a hydrating formula, which I love. Now that my concealer is nice and blended out, I am gonna go in with some loose powder. I'm just using this one by number 7 because my collab one ran out, and this is a really, really beautiful powder directly underneath the eyes. My favorite powder this month would definitely have to be the one from collab, which is the Set the Stage Ultra Fine Loose Powder in the shade Porcelain Ivory. But since I don't have that, I am going to use the next best thing. What I love about this powder by number 7 is that it doesn't irritate underneath my eyes, and it's very, very fine. So I'm just going to take this and just push it in this area right here. Whatever powder is left in this area, I'm just going to dust it off with a brush. And again, don't be too alarmed if this area looks a little bit drier than the rest of the face, because again, this is like the only area I really, really set, simply because I am going to be going in with some cream product. I will definitely say my skin is glowing. It looks hella skin-like, and I am all about that. So I'm going to continue on with the cream products. I will be using this matchstick by Fenty. This is in the shade Mocha. If you guys have not tried the matchsticks by Fenty Beauty, I definitely recommend. This one is my personal favorite for like cream contouring, and I love to use this brush to cream contour as well. This is a Sephora Pro number 47. I will take the contour stick and I'll just brush it onto the brush, and then I'm just going to take this around the perimeter of the face. And you guys, this really just melts right into the skin. It is incredible. It is so beautiful. I really just can't get enough of this technique. amazing. I'm gonna take some right here, and then I'm just gonna kind of buff it. And I'm gonna go more so at a slant like this and come down as opposed to just taking it straight across. I learned this in the MAC masterclass. They said it gives you more of like an editorial beauty look, and I'm all about that. I'm like, yes, give it to me. Let's actually move on. The next powder I'm gonna use, especially like in areas that I don't want to get like super oily, is this one. This one is by Marc Jacobs. This is the Accomplished Instant Blurring Beauty Powder. Yes, honey, you need this. So I'm gonna take a brush like this. This is just an ABH A7. I'm gonna swirl my brush into the powder, and then I'm just going to lightly dust this in the areas that I don't want to be like overly shiny or overly oily. Now, what I love most about this powder right here is that it definitely gives you an instant glow. So while I am setting down these areas with this powder, I'm still gonna get more of a luminous feel without looking oily or greasy. This powder is so extremely fine. It doesn't look clumpy, cakey, or gritty or anything like that. It's just such a beautiful powder. I also like to take a little bit of this underneath the eye area as well. Bronzer. Now, even though I went in with that cream bronzer, I still like to go in with just a little bit of bronzer, and to no surprise, I have been loving this one right here by Fenty Beauty. This one is in the shade Shady Biz, literally the perfect shade if you are of my skin tone or just slightly deeper. It adds the perfect amount of warmth, and what I love most about this bronzer is that you don't get any kickback in the pan. As you can see, I'm really digging my brush in there, and there's absolutely no kickback back in the pan. So what I'm going to do is I'm just lightly going to dust a little bit of this on top of that cream just to lightly set it down and in place. You really don't need a lot of this. You just need a little bit. Let's go ahead and do a little bit of bronzing on the nose. I do like to use an M441, and I'll pick up some of that bronzer and I'll just dust a little bit of this alongside my nose, because sometimes I feel like my nose loses a little bit of dimension in the process of putting on concealer and powder and such, so I like to bring it out just a tad. Let's actually talk blush. I have been obsessed with these blush duos by Cover FX. I have two of them right here. I have Soft Peach, and then I also have Warm Honey. Today, I definitely feel like I'm gonna go more with Soft Peach. Now, what I love most is that you get a matte blush, and then you also get more of a, I wouldn't say shimmery, it definitely has more of a sheen to it. So I want to say it's satin, but it's also like a little bit more satin than satin, if that makes sense. So what I love to do is I like to take a brush like this, and this literally is my favorite blush brush of life. I tried to use another one and I was like, wow, your blush looks like shit. This one literally applies the blush in such a beautiful, soft, diffused way. I feel like everybody needs this brush in their collection. So I'm just going to dust a little bit on. You really don't need a lot at all, and I am just using the matte side right now, and then whatever's left I'm just going to smile a little and just tap it onto the apples of my cheeks, just like that. So I definitely got a little blush happy, but you know what? We're gonna move past it. Let's talk about highlighter. Now, I've definitely had like a hate-love relationship with highlighter. Sometimes I'm all about highlighter. I'm like, give it to me. I wanna be glazed, I wanna be poppin'. But other times I'm like, look, this is a little bit too much and I want something a little bit more subtle. And what I love most about this highlighter right here by Pixi is that you can build it up. So you can build it up to be super intense, or you can do it to be very subtle. And I'm talking about the Glowy Gossamer Duo. This one is in the shade Subtle Sunrise. My favorite shade would definitely have to be this shade right here. It is so extremely beautiful, and you guys, this is a spot on dupe for the Ambreezy highlighter by ABH. This one right here, not this one. This one is stunning. So I am going to apply it with an ABH brush. I'm going to take a little bit and I'm just going to dust it right in this area right here. Again, I'm not going for anything too much or too crazy, so I'm just really applying a very light hand. I'm also just going to take a little bit on the tip of my nose. I feel like this is also a hate-love relationship. Some people love it, some people hate it. I actually really do like it, and if I'm going to put highlight anywhere, I want it to be on the tip of my nose and down the bridge. Let's finish off the lower lash line. I'm going to jump right back into the Temptress palette. You guys know I have to take more of like a flat definer brush. I'm going to pick up the shade called Lust, and I'm really going to get to blending this and buffing this closest to my lash line. Then with my M507, I'm really going to work on smoking and feathering out this color. Then with this shade right here called After Hours, I'm going to take more of a slimmer like flat definer brush. This is an ABH 20. It has like a flat definer and also a spoolie on one end. And I'm going to push this shade closest to the lash line right here. Just to kind of like pinch the eye and give it more of like a cat eye shape. Let's talk about another one of my favorites, and I'm going to talk about these ColourPop gel eyeliners. Now, at first I wasn't the biggest fan, but I realized I wasn't using them properly, and you guys, these have literally changed my life. I use them in almost every single one of my videos now, especially the colored ones when I'm doing more colorful looks or if I want to add like a subtle pop of color. I feel like these are beautiful in the waterline. Since I am going for more of like a neutral look today, I will be using the nude one, but all the other colors are really, really good, and I definitely wanted to mention them in my favorites. I will be using this one right here. This one is called Honey Dude, and I'm going to put this in my waterline to really just open up the eyes a little bit more. So the last and final thing I have to do is brow gel and also my lips. So I'm going to go in with brow gel. I've been loving the one from Glossier, but I've also been loving this one right here by ColourPop. This is the Brow Boss Gel. And what I love most about it is that it is a spot on dupe for the one from Glossier. So I mean, for half the price point, you can't even beat it. So I'm just lightly coating this through my brows and I'm brushing them in an upward motion. This is really just going to create like that fluffy brow look that I've really been enjoying recently. Ooh, couldn't talk for a second. I'm not entirely sure if this is cheating, but I've been loving this lip crayon. This is by Maybelline. This is the Superstay Ink Crayon, and I know this is a fairly new product on the market, but you guys, I love this color. It's absolutely beautiful, and I don't know what it is, but I've been really into like poppy lips. Now, normally I will gravitate more towards nudes, but I've been really into like oranges and also like very fuchsia hot pinks. My favorite part about this crayon is that it comes with a sharpener. So as you can see, the crayon is dull, but all I have to do is just sharpen it to create more of that pointed effect that I got when I first bought it. So as you can see, it's a little bit more sharpened right now, and I can use it to outline my lips and fill them in completely. I'm gonna give my skin a little bit of a spray with the Dewy Set by Anastasia. Alright, Slay Baes, this right here is the final and completed look. What do you guys think of it? Let me know down below in the comments. I will definitely say you guys boosted me up last time I wore this lip with this shirt. So I definitely had to sit down and recreate the look, but a little bit more glam, using a bunch of my current favorite beauty products. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. I love the look. Honestly, if you guys have any recommendations outside of the products I mentioned in today's video, I'd love for you to leave them down below in the comments, because I mean, I just gave you guys all of these fire recommendations and I deserve the same in return. Okay, so let's have a conversation down below. If you guys still haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? Press that subscribe button to be a part of our Slay Bae fam. Also click that bell so that way YouTube will notify you when I upload, because you're not gonna wanna miss an upload, okay? We drop fire, we drop heat, and you're not gonna wanna miss any uploads from me. I love you. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I'll be sure to catch you guys all on the next one. Deuces. We're rocking and we're rolling. Ooh, hit y'all with the double hand doses.